Welcome to EDUCAUSE Exchange, where we focus on a single question from the higher ed IT community and hear advice, anecdotes, best practices, and more. Artificial intelligence is reshaping how we teach, how we support students, and how we design learning environments. But for campus accessibility leaders, it also raises questions. Will these new tools expand access or deepen the digital divide? A 2023 survey by Fable, a national accessibility platform, found that only 7% of respondents believe people with disabilities are adequately represented in the development of AI tools. And in 2024, the unemployment rate for people with disabilities was roughly double that of those without. These are not hopeful statistics for an AI-dominated future. Still, important work is underway. At the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, the Speech Accessibility Project is using AI to improve speech recognition for diverse speech patterns and disabilities. At the University of Nebraska-Omaha, they're using AI to improve accessibility in their biology labs. At City College of New York, researchers are developing AI-powered tools like a real-time indoor navigation tool for blind and low-vision users. These projects emphasize real-world usability and collaboration with the communities of intended users, all to ensure the technology meets genuine needs. But as large-scale developers create tools with AI, users with disabilities are rarely considered. And when accessibility isn't baked into new AI tools, the future for large groups of students and professionals becomes more uncertain. According to the 2025 EDUCAUSE Students and Technology Report, student satisfaction with institutional accessibility support stands at 55%, a 13-point decline since 2023. Colleges and universities are just beginning to find their footing with artificial intelligence implementation. So as we look at accessibility in higher education, will AI help to close the accessibility gaps or widen them?
Education has a large responsibility, much larger responsibility for accessibility than anyone else. People of the future are coming out of our institutions. The engineers, the journalists, the authors, the poets are coming out of our universities today. And these students need to have exposure to people with disabilities. They need to have ideas of accessibility. They need to actually understand it.
Lucy Greco is the Accessibility Evangelist for UC Berkeley. She believes that visibility, exposure, and experience are the foundation of accessible innovation.
I hired 10 work study students last year, and I said to them, what have you done in the past with people with disabilities? And all 10 of them had never met a person with a disability. I was their first person with a disability they ever met. And, if our students are not experiencing accessibility and not experiencing people with disabilities in their worlds, they're not going to know how to fix the problems that's going to happen, because disability is becoming wider spread all the time.
Without representation, the tools of tomorrow risk reinforcing the exclusion of today. But speed is also a factor.
In terms of large language models, it has been a wild ride the last few years. I think my colleagues and I feel like we're constantly keeping up with what's changing. So we're always assessing possibilities and challenges and opportunities, and it does feel very fast-paced.
Eudora Struble is Director of Technology Accessibility at Wake Forest University. She works with faculty and staff to evaluate emerging tools with accessibility in mind.
But when you have technology innovating so quickly, and everybody is racing each other to put their products out and their new innovation out, their new evolution of their chatbot out, you end up having, unfortunately, things that fall through the cracks. And I'm sad to say that accessibility has been for a while, for always, one of those things that sometimes falls through the crack.
We need to think about this as an accessibility first or born accessible idea. I mean, AI could potentially really help people with disabilities by being there when a person is not. Like when somebody else is there to help, not there to help. The AI could really help with that. But if we're not thinking about it as something that needs to be accessible and we're not working on creating it accessibly, it's going to fail people with disabilities faster and much more regularly than anything that we've done in the past.
Keeping accessibility central isn't just about compliance. It's about designing AI with human needs in mind from the ground up.
We really want accessibility to be a foundational part of the builds of all these tools. We want it to be as thoughtfully considered as security or anything else is considered. And there is a lot of energy going into emphasizing AI when you're presenting products now, and also around accessibility, suggesting that it is somehow going to really fix a problem by itself.
The biggest problem people say is, I can't make my product accessible because I have nobody to test it for accessibility. I call, wrong. There are organizations in your community that work with people with disabilities. Go to those organizations, form partnerships, pay the people with disabilities to help you become better at accessibility. The lighthouse. Throughout the U.S., there's several different lighthouses that serve people who are blind and visually impaired. Organizations that serve people with cerebral palsy. There's a lot of organizations that serve people with Lou Gehrig's disease. Just look up, anything.org.
I love vendors. I love third-party tools. I love vendors. I love working with them to make their products better. But they have a job to do to sell something. A lot of my colleagues and I are a little wary of the promises of everything being solved. And I think it emphasizes to us that what we have to keep doing is that human in the loop. Everybody talks about that, at least on our campus. I'm sure they talk about it everywhere. That idea of having a person involved, like AI is a tool. It is not a full solution without our input. Maybe someday we'll see what happens.
AI may be built on data, but it still depends on people. And as we shape that future, we face critical questions. Who gets to be part of the process? The answer starts with education.
And if our engineers that are graduating today and creating the new tools for the future don't know about disability and accessibility, the tools are going to get worse and worse.
When we think about things that are helping people with disability, we, again, like the curb cut, think of things that ultimately help all of us. But they also are bringing people in, disabled people, into the conversation and into contributions past barriers that we've erected. Digital or physical, we're ensuring that people are part of building a stronger community, of building stronger research, of connecting across other kinds of barriers that always intersect with each other.
From classroom to code, it starts with awareness and grows through intentional design. To move forward, the higher education community must stay informed, build community around accessibility topics, and take action together. One resource we'd recommend is a collaboration between Every Learner Everywhere and Teach Access. It's titled Where AI Meets Accessibility: Considerations for Higher Education. It came out in March of 2025. It includes resources and recommendations for integrating accessible AI across different areas of higher education. It's also a toolkit with example activities, discussion questions, and reading lists. We'll include the link in the show notes, but you can also search for Where AI Meets Accessibility: Considerations for Higher Education. Are you looking for more insights on the evolving role of technology in higher ed? Explore the full EDUCAUSE Review podcast network for expert perspectives, practical guidance, and leadership conversations. Find us at er.educause.edu/podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts. And for video highlights and thought leadership from across the community, check out the EDUCAUSE YouTube channel.